jump in real quick. So we have different levels of basically service. Um, we can make it really easy on you on just creating ROs. We can get into digital vehicle inspections. If you would like to, build a inspection for your reconditioning process or anything like that. So that's part of our service. We have a lot of workflow things that can assist you with the reconditioning process. But what I kind of heard at first was basically tracking of parts, tracking of service, and then with the integration, we can push the expense over to to IDMS for the for the to put the bottom line of the expense.
Okay. Yep.
So to start with your integration, all vehicles and customers will be loaded from IDMS over to Omnique as customers. The dealership will have their own customer record, basically. In this case, this is me, and it would just show the dealership name. And over here on the right, it's going to show all the vehicles listed under that dealership. So that's preloaded, and that's whenever you buy a car, sell a car, transfer, anything to do with the vehicle, that automatically happens in Omnique so that there's no double entry. It makes your life much easier in that aspect. When you sell it from the dealership to, let's say you're going to sell me a vehicle, that vehicle record will get transferred. The new customer record for me will get created automatically, and all the history of everything that you've done on that car will transfer as well. So that makes it really easy. When I go and start a new repair order, all you have to do is up here at the top, click on new ticket. You would put in the customer's phone number, name, stock number if it's internal, last 6 of the VIN if it's internal, anything. If it's a customer, you can even do license plate number. But let me just start with my phone number. There's me. I could select me as the customer for new ticket, grab whatever vehicle, and if I had the VIN, it would filter right down to that. So let's just do something on this Protege. So it makes it very easy to start new repair orders because all the customer would be automatically their vehicle. If you did have a walk-in or a customer that has a secondary vehicle that may not be in the system, it's very easy to go set up a new customer or add a vehicle directly under that customer. It makes it real simple. You can do it by a VIN scanner. You can do it by license plate. We decode the license plate to the VIN and create the vehicle. There's a lot of different ways that you can add in vehicles if you need to. One thing that we make it real easy for you is when you're sourcing parts, we do have integrations into all your aftermarket parts suppliers. So we have, well, I should back up a little bit, but typically you'd want to go and identify what's wrong with the vehicle. If it's a reconditioning, what items you need to recondition, customers, and so on. So the digital vehicle inspection up here, you could use that for the technician to do a walk around and identify everything. Or you can just put in the customer's concerns. If it is a walk, a buy here, pay here, or a after the sale type thing, you can just put in the customer's concerns and then go through and have the technician confirm that and start ordering parts.
You have a form that we can fill out for them to do the walk around for the technician?
So okay. Yes, that's part of the main service. It's called our inspections. As I build this ticket, all you have to do is go up here, go to inspection, and it copies all the information that we had already entered, and you pick in what inspection you want to do. This is a demo, so we've added a bunch of stuff in here, but you may want to do a 25-point inspection or a full 100-point inspection. These are all customizable. You would come out here, pick which one you want to do, hit create inspection. And right here, the technician can go do, I'll take pictures, a 4-corner picture of all the vehicle, and they can start going through and identifying all the issues of the vehicle. Maybe there's a wiper arm missing. You can come out here and identify that. Worn out, broken, damaged, whatever. Even take pictures or video of that issue. So let's do that. Maybe there's a headlight out. You would identify that. Maybe it's not light, maybe it's cracked. Take a picture of it. And as you're doing this, you can go through the whole vehicle. Maybe there's some tire issues you can identify. You can go through it, and then on the summary page, the next tab over, you can say, okay, these are the 2 items I want to put onto the RO. So you go put a check mark on the recommend. And what that'll do is from his findings, it'll push it over to the RO. So on the 3rd tab, the review is back on the RO itself. It's going to transfer them as line items. Come on, what are you doing? So right here, what it did is it put that as a recommendation for the service advisor to order the parts, or if you have the technician order parts, it's up whatever your workflow is. But from the inspection, you can have it put the recommendation on the RO for them to go source them items. So what the service advisor would do now is go over to, it's our quick parts feature. We have a couple different companies that we can use to integrate your part suppliers. I prefer Parts Tech. It's a really cool add-on. It's a free add-on. So I would come out here and say, okay, wiper blades, blade or arm or whatever. So you go out, it would go to your first call supplier. So let's say that you use Napa or O'Reilly's, Worldpac, whatever your first call supplier. And if right here it says they have it in stock, so you can go down and figure out what brand you want. Maybe it's a price conscious. Maybe it's, maybe you want a best one. But go out here and go ahead and add to. You can add, there's a feature so that you can put in your labor time guide at the same time, the book time. And I'm going to go ahead and submit it to my ticket. So real easily we can go, this is a bump page. It's what it allows you to do is just bump the hours if you have a vehicle that might be a rust bucket or something that's already may need a little bit more time to actually do that service. You can go out there and bump the hours and save it to your ticket. You can turn that on or off. It's a feature that you can use or not. So I grabbed this wiper blade and the labor. I'm just going to go ahead and click and drag it into my package for that wiper. Let's go ahead and do that headlight real quick too. I forgot to do that. Headlight bulb. Let's say that they didn't have it, and my first call, I'm going to go to another one. We only need one. We're just going to do one this time. Add labor time for one. Delivery area. I'm just going to go ahead and submit this anyway. For some reason they have a delivery error on that one. Looks like we have some error on this demo account. So I'm just going to go ahead and clear out. So maybe we just do an add part manually. So I'm going to do think that's lighting, bulbs, cost $5.99. So here's a real cool feature also is we have pricing matrices built into the system. So as you can see, I put in a price by customer. You can have different pricing levels. So the dealership, you can have one pricing matrix. Maybe you only want to mark it up 10% or maybe even cost. A customer you can have as a different one. An employee you can have a different one. Warranty company you can have a different one. So as you can see, at a customer level, it would automatically set my sell price. Maybe I bought this from eBay. Let's just do something simple. And I'm going to go ahead and add that part to my ticket. Go ahead and drag that into the same package. So we make it real easy to source the parts, add parts from inventory if you want, if you stock anything, add parts manually. And then when we want to go order the parts, it's just as easy. One click of a button. It researches, make sure it's still on their shelf. Go out here and say need ASAP. Order it. It places an order without going to their website, without calling them, nothing. It places that order, identifies when you ordered it, so that when you go over to the vendors tab, you can see here's that wiper blade. There's my cost. It added that automatically. Put in the supplier automatically. If there was a core charge, it would have put that in automatically. PO number. And when you get the part, you would just mark it as received. But it already puts it in as ordered, when you ordered it, and so on. So it makes it real simple to track all your parts. And if you guys use QuickBooks or any accounting, we would be able to push that directly in to QuickBooks as your purchase. Keep track of all your purchases into your accounting.
And Eric, not to interrupt, sorry, but Joanne,
Oh, please.
yesterday you said that whenever you're having to order parts, you're having to call the service department. They reach out to the vendors, and there's no way to really track the orders through a system, right? So this would really help with that.
That is correct. That's one of the
Yeah.
main issues. We don't know what they actually order until I get the parts ticket in my office way after.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think this would really help, but didn't mean to interrupt. Just wanted to kind of point that out.
Yeah. So some other features that we have to help with this. First of all, we push it over to accounting. We have a lot of different reports for all your purchases. So you can come out here. Let's see that you want to go. I want to look at all parts that are on order from today. Let's see. And it would show all your parts. We have all your purchases. There's tons of reports. But when you get the part, you have the receipt in your hand, your invoice from that supplier. You may not know. Let me copy this. You may not know where that goes, what ticket it goes to. So we have another feature called our outside purchase orders. Excuse me. Which allows you, once you have the parts in front of you in the invoice, where does that belong? So when you place that order, it's going to put in the PO number. So on that invoice, you would typically have the PO number, type that in, and it would filter down to that part right there we just added and allow you to put in the invoice number, payment type. We could default this based off the supplier. There's your unit cost if there was core. And you would just say, yep, I did receive those. So you would save that. This is that manual one. Once you get that one, you can do the same thing. For Control copy, Control V. You can go in there. Let's say that this was a credit card purchase, and you would mark that as received as well. So what that does is it goes over to the RO and marks them as received without having to know what ticket that's on. It makes it really easy to go in and receive it, and that would push that over to accounting as a purchase or a charge that you need to pay for. So with that quick parts feature, you can get your book times for labor, source any parts. Parts Tech is like a lot of your aftermarket parts suppliers. If you're familiar with RepairLink, RepairLink is all your dealerships. So you can even source parts from GM, Ford, any of those. So that would add it to the ticket, just like Parts Tech. You'd be able to order electronically, and that's a free service as well. You can add that on if you have a RepairLink integration. Any questions on anything with this? Any features that you're looking for?
No, I think this is all super interesting. Obviously, at some point there will definitely probably be some more questions in terms of use, the way it's actually used in a more in-depth level. But
Right.
from a broad, I mean, it's awesome. So
Okay.
it checks a lot of boxes
So,
that we need checked. So
okay, there's a lot of things that I haven't touched on. Up here in the top right-hand corner, we have two-way text messaging available to your customers so that you can have full conversations with your customers via text message. Okay. We have customizable repair order. We call them RO statuses. These are all customizable. So as you're working through your workflow of check-in, inspection, parts ordering, any of that, we can have automated text messages go to your customers. So on your repair order statuses, for each step, you can come out here and say, I want to let my customers know that the inspection is done. They don't need to call and get an update every day or every hour. For every step, you can set up text messaging to your customers. That's huge. Also, you can even send out text messages for assignment. So maybe once you check it in, you want to assign it to a technician for inspection. You can set it up so the technician gets a text message letting them know the next vehicle to work on to get an inspection. Internal communication, you can do countdowns. Let's say that your check-in process, you only want it in that step for 4 hours. Okay. You can set this up to have a timer countdown for that 4 hours. You can come out here and say it's in check-in step. Over here, you can say, I only want that to be in the check-in for 4 hours. You can see this is a demo. It's actually past due already, and you can send a note to someone once it goes past due. If you want to get into that granular level of communication with your customers, approvals, assignments, it's all built into the system. So you can start easy by just sourcing parts, adding all of that, getting all that part of your workflow fixed or make it a little bit more streamlined. But as you want to start branching out, there's a lot of features that would help with the workflow part of it. As you can see here, here's all the RO statuses. This is another view that you can click and drag. This one here, the check-in's done. It needs for inspection. It's that quick. It's just that easy to put it through your workflow. Okay. So that's part of the system. You like the inspections, you can adopt that later or right out of the gate. You can do that. Appointments, building, scheduling appointments for customers for service. We have all that built into the system, including email or text message reminders. Okay, that's all part of the system. Workflow. This is another thing that you can adopt now or later, but this allows you to assign work to your technicians. Right here, the first column would be all the tickets that don't have a technician assigned. You could come out here and say, what jobs are on there? There's a battery job and something else. You can come out here and say, oh, I'm going to assign that out to the tech. Or you can just click the whole ticket and drag that directly to whatever technician you have. So there's a lot of assignment for assigning to your technicians, workflow built into the system. Time clock. This is where the technician can come in for the day, clock in for the day and see what jobs are assigned to them. And they know exactly based off that workflow of dragging up or down, they know the priority. So they just come out here, grab that vehicle and do the oil change, do the water pump, clock in and out if you want to track their actual time versus book time for efficiencies. That's all built into the system. So as you can see, you can adopt Omnique at a very basic level and then start branching out as you want to get a little bit more things automated. We do have live help, and we do have unlimited training and support. So we would do all your training for you. We do Zoom calls just like this to get, you can have a training on basic ticket setup or repair order setup, parts ordering, inventory, and then you can branch out, you can do additional trainings on any other aspect of the system. So you can do Zoom calls or you can do live help out here and just say, hey, how do I add a new technician? How do I add a new user? How do I add a new user? So what that would do is ping us. We're automatically pinged that they're going to do that. As you're waiting, it would actually send you, ooh, like here, set up a new user, show me how to do that. And we have step-by-step guide on pretty much everything in the system. If it's something a little bit more involved, looks like someone's replying and you'll be automatically connected to one of us. So you can use the phone, you can use live chat. Let me just adjust. Or even how-to guides are down here as well. So let me just run through some of the features. I think I mentioned the Insights product, which is all of our really in-depth reporting on anything within the system. The inspection tool, again, this is fully customizable. You can come out here, edit any aspect, you can add to it, change it around, add, anything in there if you want to customize it. That's part of the inspections. You can do multiple inspections per ticket. So you can have a check-in, you can have another one. Appointments, anything to do with scheduling, your month, day, week. We have a view by technician, by status, by bay. So it's real detailed on for scheduling out appointments. Again, customers, all your data will be loaded in from IDMS, but you can add in additional vehicles real easily for customers. Tickets, your estimates, repair orders, invoices. Once you do convert that, any RO to an invoice, again, it's going to push that over to IDMS and add it to the expense of that vehicle. That's key. So you're not fat fingering numbers, forgetting to do expenses, selling out a vehicle that may expense not been added to it, which that's not good. Again, the whole workflow piece of it for assignment to your technicians and kind of keep track of what's work in progress. The time clock, which shows the technician their, their jobs and be able to clock in and out. Parts and labor. This is where you would put in any inventory that you could pull from, any stock filters, oil, fluids, anything on your shelves. We manage all aspects of inventory. You can do inventory orders, packages, which are like canned jobs, groups of line items. So you can have like a full oil change based off one op code, put one op code in and have it bring in all your oil filters, everything. Core and part return. This is a huge feature for keeping track of what you're owed for core, for warranty, return parts. So whenever you buy a part that has a core charge, you paid that charge, you want to get that money back. So it automatically puts it into here when you put parts in that have cores. And then you can come out here and print off a sheet that says you keep this with the part on the shelf. Who does it need to get returned to? How much money we get back from it? And when you send that back, you just go out here and say, okay, that one was sent back. Once you get credit from it, you just come out here and say, yep, I received credit of however much it was. And then that will push over to QuickBooks as well for that credit. We keep track of everything all parts that you need to get money back from. That's our core and part warranty return feature. Like here, you can track anything that you have on hand, all your stocking levels. Whenever you put in a part number, you'd pull from inventory, search inventory from the ticket, and so on. And then one of the last features we have is a marketing module. If you wanted to use ours, or if you're going to use CRM through IDMS, but they do the same thing. You could do easy oil change reminders, state inspection reminders, via text message or email. You could set up campaigns to send out notices to your customers for specials, oil change reminders, anything you want to communicate out. So that's part of our marketing module. Any questions so far? I've thrown a lot at you. Just keep in mind that you can adopt this basic and then expand. You don't have to do everything at once.
Yeah, no, honestly, this overview is extremely helpful. There's so many different things that we're conversing as you're going, saying, oh man, this would eliminate that. This would help with this mess. This will take this huge stack of paperwork that is, from 1994 that we're still doing, off the desk. So no, you keep going. It's sounding great.
So
everything y'all are doing, oh, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. Everything y'all are doing is written, scanned in, uploaded to this will eliminate all of that and really streamline it. Absolutely. It's a flash. It's a blast from the past if you come in. So. It works. It's very efficient, but it's just a lot of work. So yeah.
But we train you and we get you up to speed. And as you adopt new things, we'll train you on how to do it. One other thing with the inspection, if you're doing inspections on a customer's vehicle, you do have the ability to send it to them via text message. You can put in a custom note here, but what that shows, what it looks like when the customer gets it on their phone, it'll look like this and allows them to go in and approve jobs. Let's say that wiper arm, we have fees and tax, and there's your labor. whatever it is, $75 for both of them. They can approve that. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and approve that one. And the headlights, yep, I want to get that done as well. So back on the RO, you'll see that they approved it. There's a little icon. They approved it. And up here in the text message, you'll get a notice that the customer approved it. Even in the alerts area, it hasn't come through yet, but it'll show that that's been approved so that you can, if you want to, you can send out customers all the issues with the cars, pictures, video, everything that's wrong, and allow them to approve it without even picking up a call. Some shops
So-
like to call them. And if you want to do it this way, you can do it that way as well. Sorry, go ahead.
No, yeah. Okay, so let's say when you send that out, obviously it's displaying our cost on one end. Does it allow, obviously I'm sure it does. You just put in what the markup would be and then that's what they receive on their end kind of deal?
Yeah, so again, I had alluded to it. We do have pricing matrices and labor matrices. You can have many pricing levels and pricing markups. So right here is the pricing level. So you set one of them as a default. So that would be all your customers that come in. You have a default pricing level. Same thing with your labor matrix. And then what you would do is on the customer record for the dealership, you would just go out there and set that one to the internal one. So for instance, I'm going to go look at my customer record. So think of this as the dealership and all your vehicles below it. You would go in here and say, my pricing level would be internal. Okay, we would create one for you called internal. Same thing with labor, you would have one called internal. So every vehicle that you're working on internally, you would have it at cost or 5 over, however you want to mark up your vehicles. All your customers would be on another one. And then you could set up even employee rate or a fleet rate or a warranty rate. And the nice thing is when you create that ticket from the dealership, it goes over here and it would default that pricing level, okay, and the labor level, but you can override it. Let's say that we're on this customer and it's customer pay, but one item, maybe you want to do it as a warranty. So what you would do is come out here and say, this line item is warranted. So as you're adding parts or labor, it's going to do it at a different rate. Maybe you do it at cost, maybe you do it 5 over, whatever it is. So you can have down to the line item level different pricing, and it automatically does the markup for you as you're adding parts.
Yeah, that's about as easy as it gets. That's what I was, because there can be quite a few different reasons why one thing may cost one thing in one circumstance versus another. And so it's like, how do you differentiate? And so obviously it's all there. So that's great.
Yeah, so we call that ticket type. So on a ticket type, you can say this is customer, or the whole ticket is going to be customer or internal. This would all default based off of what you set up on the customer. So once you set it, you don't have to go in and remember to set all these values. It all just works. It really works well. But at the line item level, you can always say, hey, this is goodwill. We're going to fix this, internal because there's pre-sale agreement, any of that. You just go to the ticket and say, you just change it at that level and it changes the pricing or labor to that level. And then when you go change the ticket to an invoice, it'll show, let's see. It would show based off of the ticket type. So this was customer, if there was a goodwill, a warranty, internal, there would be different columns and show when you change it to an invoice, who is responsible for how much. It keeps track of that. You don't have to grab a calculator and say, okay, these 4 line items are customer, your total is this. This line item is warranty, the warranty company is this. It just does it for you. So. We do have oil change stickers. If you want to, get the printer and the labels, you can go out there and print out oil change stickers. We have that built into the system. Vehicle history. So if you want to see everything that's ever done to this and send that information to the customer, it's just a click of a button. Quick charts. If you want to know what oil change, let me just show you that to you real quick. If you want to know what filters it takes, you can use quick parts, the parts tech, or you can come out here and say, what oil filter does this take? What capacity it takes, what wiper blade it uses. It's like the most requested information. I don't know why it's taking a minute. There it is right there. So you can go out here and say, what filter does it take? We have 14 different lines. If you stock one, you can say, click it and add it right to the ticket. So there's a lot of additional items that we serve up if you want to dive into that as well. I think that's pretty much it. I might have missed some, but there's a lot to Omnique. And again, you can start basic and then go as in depth as you want.
Yeah, that's we would probably start pretty basic, but the goal, I guess, would be to start utilizing it at its full capacity. So, Joanne, do you have questions?
Everything I showed you is part of the base package, except for the add-on labor time in parts tech. That adding of the book time labor, that's an additional fee. But everything that I showed you is part of the, except for accounting. If you want to push over to accounting through books or stuff, that's an additional charge as well. But Brittany can explain all that.
Yeah, and I don't know, Brittany, maybe you're the one. At some point, are you going to send us a breakdown on like what the separate packages entail or
absolutely.
include? Okay.
Yeah, I am
awesome.
trying to find the accounting add-on. I know that we had to get on a call last time, Eric, to find some things because when I found the quick parts, and then the auto texting, is that something that you guys are interested in?
That we built that into the system, so you wouldn't need to add that separate.
Okay.
So that's
so it's basically
okay, great.
It would be the basic package. It's called back office or accounting link if you want your connection into QuickBooks.
Okay.
And then the labor piece, I don't know if you have a SKU for that yet. We'd have to talk about that, or we may have to put that in a separate agreement.
Okay.
But we can.
Yeah, no worries. No worries. However it breaks down, however it shakes out, let us know. If how long would it take to implement to get to the point where we can roll this thing out?
Well, once we get the agreement from Brittany, it would probably take a day or two to get the our side configured and get all the data loaded.
Sure.
We'd schedule training with whoever wants to get the training, and the quick parts you can do in a day. You can add all your suppliers based off your account number. It's that simple. It's immediate. And then just do the training, and then you just go. We can do it all within a week.
That's
Okay,
awesome.
okay.
I didn't know that it was that fast, Eric.
Yeah,
Because
that's
most
quick.
of our other products take 60
No,
days
no.
to get it. So that's good to know. I'm glad that we discussed that. I
No.
will let you know that the base package is 422. So
Okay.
I will I'll get with Eric though. So what add-ons would you be interested in the accounting, or are you just wanting to get that pricing first?
The accounting world is
Just the
Joanne.
price.
So yeah, just if you'll just send us the breakdown on what the pricing is, I guess we'll kind of talk about internally what, and it's also maybe one of those things that like this is a big thing to bite off. Maybe at first we get our feet underneath us, and then when we're ready, we go forward with some of the other add-ons.
Yeah, absolutely.
I've done this kind of thing in the past, and it's like, well, no, hold on, we need all of it. But it's like, but can you actually utilize all of it right out the gate? I don't know.
Not
So
usually.
yeah, so again, I think that's one of those things that we'll just sit down and talk about for us to have the information to figure out how much and all. That's really what we need right out the
Okay.
gate. Yeah.
So what I'll do is I'm going to schedule a closing call with you guys.
Okay.
We can do it this afternoon to allow me to, have that time with Eric to
Yeah,
get
for
it
sure.
together and send it over. What time would work best for you? Is 1:30 okay? Or do we need to go? Let's see.
1:30 would probably be just fine. Yeah.
Okay. All right. I'll send over an invite. It'll be through Teams.
Okay.
I can call you guys in if you need, but we'll do the closing call then, and I'll get with Eric right after this meeting.
Perfect. You guys are
I'm
awesome. I
so glad we
appreciate
were able to show you all of this. I think this is really going to help streamline y'all's.
it. Man,
Yeah, that's
I'm
without a question.
I'm mad I haven't done this for a long time. So
I'm glad I
lot of
called
headaches I could've
yesterday.
eliminated here. So
Yeah.
Nice
Okay.
meeting
I will
you.
see you at 1:30.
likewise. Okay, thank you. I'll talk to you guys
Okay,
soon.
thanks. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.